I went to this summit called Activate Portland last week, and they asked me to talk about Brown Hills work. And so I said, y'all about to get preached at, because we have some changes that this community needs, and I got a lot of things to say about that. And so here are my words. I didn't get this first part to April. You can see why. For my entire life, I've had an obsession with fire. Naturally, my astrological sign is the fire sign. Or as my friends would say, Cameron, you are such an Aries. Even though society is constantly reminding us about how dangerous and divisive fire is, the beauty of fire is what you do with it. To me, fire burns with passion. It purifies its surroundings, and it inspires hope. But let me remind you that as a fire sign, I am unequivocally biased. One of my favorite quotes of all time comes from civil rights icon and firebrand, Frederick Douglass. In his 1852 speech, titled, "What to the American Slave is Your 4th of July?" he states, "For it is not light that is needed, but fire. It is not the gentle shower, but thunder. We need the storm, the whirlwind, and the earthquake." This quote emphasizes that in these dire times, we cannot wait for incremental change. We need a dramatic force like fire to reshape the surface of this world. I first became radicalized in 2011 during the birth of the Occupy Wall Street movement. Y'all remember the 99%? Yes. Occupy ignited a voice inside me, telling me as a homeless kid, as an abuse survivor, as a queer black person here in this country, that I was powerful. My biggest source of inspiration at the time was a man named Mohamed Bouazizi. He was a modest Tunisian man who, in response to government oppression, immolated himself and catalyzed the Arab Spring movement, which also served as the blueprint to Occupy Wall Street. Mohamed Bouazizi's fire gave an entire nation a chance for freedom and ignited a global revolution. Since that profound moment in my life back in 2011, I've been running with my soul on fire. I've spent an immeasurable number of hours in community, testifying, running campaigns, leading nonprofits, public speaking, facilitating trainings, and of course, my favorite, getting arrested. My work now is centered on racial justice, and I started Brown Hope in 2018 as a way to help people heal from racial trauma. The history of racism in Oregon is especially long and troubling. Although Oregon was originally founded to be a racist, whites-only utopia, with Brown Hope, I dreamt that Black, brown, and indigenous people can live here and thrive. We've done an unbelievably incredible and impactful amount of work these last 7 years with the help of hundreds of supporters, including the Black Resilience Fund, which in 2020, during a global pandemic, raised millions of dollars that we distributed directly to Black Portlanders as an intentional act of reparations. Thank you. To be honest, holding on to hope and courage isn't the easiest right now, since we live in a really fucked up world. On a national scale, we have watched with a degree of powerlessness as this country has headed in an alarming, chaotic direction. Escalating polarization, people killing people at rallies, college campuses, and in their very own homes. Incarceration and forced separation of families. Our communities reeling from distrust sowed by our highest elected office. We are left with chilling questions and fears to keep us up at night. Wondering when we might feel safe again. When our neighbors will start being neighborly again. When our children can leave home without us worrying what might happen or if they'll ever return. Are we headed in a new direction? While this sense of certainty is real, it does not define us. It will take a long time to recover the social cohesion we need to finally have healing and a path forward as a nation. But I believe we come into spaces like this one today because we understand the urgency of this time. In order to overcome the rising tide of fascism and authoritarianism, we need a bigger movement. And that's a movement that includes all of us. We need a movement that is deeply rooted in the principles of inclusion, solidarity, and trust. In order to get through the uncertainties and hardships of the next 3 years, we must find new ways to unite across our differences. It is our responsibility and our calling to survive this moment in time and fuel a lasting movement of justice. Our ancestors of all colors sacrificed blood and safety and dreams so that we could have a fighting chance. And we are standing upon their powerful legacy. So I implore you today, let's be the fire. Let's be the fire. Thank you.
Yeah.